My sisters and brothers, I greet you all with the love and peace of the Lord. I invite you to meditate together with me on the Holy Word of God of 13th June 2022. Poker, breeding greed, the indicative of our reflection. There is always a sharp contrast between the people of God and the people of the world. The former often seem to be losers and despised, and the latter winners and victors. But in God's sight, it is the reverse. Greed, deception, and harm to others mark the world of today. Greed drives many to deceive and destroy others so that they get what they desire. They are never satisfied with what they have. Even the abundance they may possess will not content them. They become so deceitful and manipulative. They go to any extent, even to eliminate others and achieve what they aspire to. Ahab, the king of Samaria, and his wife Jezebel, in the first reading, stand as typical examples of this mentality of the world above mentioned. Despite the abundance of their lands, they covet Naboth's small vineyard. Naboth refuses to part with his ancestral land. They should have respected his decision. Instead, Jezebel plots and implicates Naboth in a false case of cursing God and the king. Consequently, Naboth gets stoned and killed, and his land is confiscated by the king. Against such a worldly mentality of false values, Jesus proposes a contrast set of values. It is not the spirit of unforgiveness, grudge, and retaliation that seeks an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, but it is Christ's spirit of forbearance and forgiveness that offers the other cheek also to the one who slaps on one. It is not the spirit of greed or profit or self-interest, but it is the new spirit of sensitivity and generosity that gives readily to those who beg or borrow. It is not the spirit of fighting for rights, suing you to take away your tunic, but it is the contrast spirit of giving up one's legitimate rights and parting with the cloak as well. It is not the spirit of becoming so calculative and refusing to walk a mile with the other, but it is the generous spirit of walking an extra mile. Saint Anthony of Padua, whom we venerate today, is a glowing example of this new spirit of Christ. He preached the gospel in word and deed. He was ignited by love for God and souls. Now the imperative for our reflection and life: what are the values that are taking hold of me and guiding me? Is it greed or generosity? Is it retaliation or reconciliation? Whom do I resemble, Ahab and Jezebel, or Christ and his true disciples?